Welcome to the Mama Needs a Moment podcast. We're your hosts, Chrissy and Cindy, co-founders of Her Health Collective, and moms who totally get the chaos of juggling it all.
But here's the thing, your well-being matters. That's why we're on a mission to change the way moms take care of themselves.
We bring you quick 10 to 15 minute bite-sized episodes packed with expert advice on women's health, parenting, and self-care, plus real-life tips you can use right now.
So take a deep breath, grab your lukewarm cup of coffee, and let's make these moments count.
Today, I am so excited. We are being joined by Ryan Brown, founder of Go Squadies, a Raleigh-based startup transforming how we think about one of the most basic human needs: clean, reliable access to public restrooms. Ryan's journey began after a frustrating moment as a mom trying to change her child's diaper in a restroom without a changing table, a problem I am certain almost every mom I know has dealt with at some point. That experience, paired with her background as a clinical research executive, sparked a bigger question. Why isn't there a better system for families, individuals with GI conditions, or anyone who simply needs to know where a clean restroom is available? Her answer became Squadies, an app that not only maps public restrooms, but also introduces a groundbreaking proprietary trust score to rate cleanliness, accessibility, and reliability. Beyond convenience, Ryan sees this as a public health and equity issue with the potential to impact families, tourism, smart cities, and even global health initiatives. We are thrilled to dive into Ryan's story of turning a personal frustration into a social impact tech startup that is already gaining a lot of momentum. Ryan, thank you so much for being with us today.
Well, it's truly a pleasure, Chrissy and Cindy. Thank you so much for having me.
It's such a wonderful idea that you had. I was thinking, I think we had talked about this the other day when we had seen you, but I have older kids, and throughout their lives, I just cover the toilet before you go. Make sure you cover the toilet. Like, that was always what I screamed to them before they go into a public restroom. But I would love to know, take us back to that moment in the bathroom. It was actually in a restaurant, right? Bathroom.
Yes. So I'll take you back circa 2.5 years ago. So spoiler alert, I now have a toddler who's 3 and pretty much potty trained, but the bathroom piece is still a challenge. And so 2.5 years ago, I was a new mom and going through a really tough day, when it's just one of those days where you're trying to keep postpartum at bay. And I said, we got to get out the house. And so I packed her up and had the diaper bag and had her in my carrier. And I thought I was unstoppable until I got to that bathroom. And when I looked up and I saw that there was nowhere for me to change my baby. And so I had to get on my hands and knees on a dirty bathroom floor, clearing out their cupboards and all their cleaning supplies to change my daughter. And after that moment, I just immediately wanted to go home. I didn't want to shop anymore. I didn't want to be out anymore. I was deflated. And it struck me that I can't be the only person that is having an undignified moment in a public bathroom. But that day was the spark of Squadies, and I'll never forget that moment. 2.5 years later, while we were on a big road trip, taking our daughter to the beach for the first time, we heard the voice out of the backseat say the one sentence every parent dreads when you're so close to your destination but too far away, which is, Mom and Dad, I gotta go. And so we looked up and we're scrambling in the middle of nowhere, and I just pull over in front of a pig farm and sling her potty travel seat out the trunk. And so I'm like, okay, well, I think we've solved this problem, but now it's the busiest highway in America. And then my husband says he has to go and I've got to go. And I'm like, this is a nightmare. And again, those whispers hit me. And I said, I can't be the only person going through this, especially when I think of the 60 million plus people that are facing gastroenterology issues. So think of things like IBS or Crohn's or colitis, along with families who are on the go and traveling. And our survey has shown results from our initial conversations with families that This is one of the number one issues they face. Over 70% of our families have had a concern with finding a clean bathroom, especially when they're traveling or running everyday errands. And Squatties is on a mission to be the global hygiene infrastructure standard to change the game on that.
Ah, I love this so much. I love that it's seeing a problem that is personally impacting you and taking that passion that that ignites and turning it into a solution. That's where so many of the most beautiful businesses and entrepreneurial ventures come from. I would love to kind of unpack this a little bit because I think many people have great ideas but struggle to validate them. And Brian, because I know you so well, I know that you are very good at validating these ideas. What were the first steps you took to research and confirm that Squatties could really fill a need for people?
First and foremost, I think what Squatties has taught me, and this is something that I hope every listener can take to heart, is that no experience is lost. And don't count out the little things, especially things that might take you by surprise and are everyday basic things like the bathroom, right? And that's what it was for me. And what really triggered the idea that maybe it was worth pursuing was that I was listening. I faced the problem, but being a researcher by training, I'm a scientist. I am nosy. I want to dig into the data. I want to understand that, hey, maybe this isn't just my problem because we're human beings. And so I started asking around. I ran focus groups with local mom groups. I started talking to anyone and everyone I could find, older men, those that had GI issues and challenges, and even active seniors and different people who are facing different challenges or caregivers. And it started to just come out of the woodwork that this really is a big problem. And it wasn't until I started doing more research that I understood and learned that the US is actually on the same level as Botswana when it comes to clean restroom access. And that should be unacceptable. And so, because I started learning that this was an overwhelming issue, I started doing little focus groups and surveys and spoke to roughly 200 different people across the triangle, across the nation. And it hit me that this was an overwhelming problem. And it's not just my problem, it's everyone's problem. And so, this is one of the key things when we were doing the research. The top thing beyond just accessibility and making sure there's changing tables, it was making sure that things were clean. And so having that insight was huge. And then also talking to just as many people as possible and learning and hearing about their pain is really what helped validate it for me. And it's given me the confidence to move forward with this venture.
Yeah, I love that. One of the things that I know you have created in this Squatties app is this proprietary trust score, which I think is really fascinating. It's almost like a credit score for bathrooms. In what ways do you think that this empowers moms to feel more confident and in control when navigating public spaces with their kids?
One of the things that we've seen from some of the other applications that are out there and potty finders is that you might be able to find that there is a bathroom at, say, a local Circle K or Cedar or a neighborhood park, for example, but you have no idea the last time it was cleaned. You don't know the hours of operation. And when it's an acute, urgent need of potty, you should be able to know that information at your fingertips. And so the way Squatties works, it's kind of like Waze meets Yelp for bathrooms. And so the proprietary trust score, it takes into account that real-time crowdsourced feedback to where we can understand things like cleanliness, we can understand accessibility, we can understand safety measures, which are huge, especially for solo travelers who also gave us feedback into this piece, and families when they're visiting different rest stops. They want to make sure things are safe. So that way, if they're sending their little one into a stall, they know they can feel confident that things will be okay. And so we're blending all of those different pieces coupled with the real-time nature of people crowdsourcing those reviews, being able to verify and validate with establishments as well. And that's how we're able to leverage the best of technology using some of the latest insights with AI and doing predictive modeling coupled with everyday feedback that we're getting from users so we can crowdsource this information and we can know where to go safely and effectively.
This is blowing my mind, Ryan, because you took this idea and it is just simply exploded into a business and in something that's going to really make a difference in people's lives. And you've taken it from this simple idea into pilots, then into focus groups, and even into an accelerator program. How did you do this? We would love to share the path that you took, taking it from an idea and then getting it off the ground. And couldn't you share some of the challenges, the surprises that you've had? Because there's probably listeners that want to act on their own idea and they just simply don't know how to get started, but you seem to have the formula. Can you share all that with us?
Do you love our real, unfiltered conversations on motherhood? Help us keep them going.
By becoming a patron, you're not just helping us keep the podcast going, you're fueling meaningful conversations, supporting moms, and helping us bring on even more incredible expert guests. Plus, you'll get access to exclusive perks like behind the scenes content, bonus episodes, and a deeper connection to our Her Health Collective community.
Join us today and be part of something special, because every mom deserves a moment. Let's make sure we can keep creating them together.
I would say the biggest challenge, honestly, is getting people to just even realize that bathrooms aren't just a convenience, it's infrastructure, it's equity, it's dignity, and helping people understand that what we're facing right now is a public health and honestly a civil rights issue in plain sight. And what we've seen, for example, men's bathrooms, right? Usually men's bathrooms are lacking in changing tables, and that's a huge equity issue. And so some of the things that we did was trying to make sure that as we're telling the story, people could relate to it. And they understood that, yes, this is from a mom, but this impacts everyone. And so being able to put those different nuggets in there so people can understand, sharing the story with municipalities and small to medium business owners, because there's been research and studies that show that 50% of people, if they have a poor, i.e. a janky bad bathroom experience, they will not come back to your business, right? And so that directly impacts their bottom line. And when we tie it back, it's an economic issue. We're talking about a $6 billion issue, and it really deeply impacts women, because women are, 85% of the purchasing decisions for consumer products come from women, moms. So we sure as heck need to focus on this. And so trying to make sure that all key stakeholders can really understand that it's not just a Ryan issue. This is a global issue. This is an infrastructure issue. This is big. It's economics. It's our local communities. And so first and foremost, just being able to share the story. For people who are thinking about starting out, I'll be honest, like this isn't my first go round at entrepreneurship. And I've taken some lumps and learnings. And when I was speaking about earlier how no experience is lost, I sincerely mean that. I mean, I've been drawing on things that I did as a child in high school and experiences I had at Rotary Club, for example, in high school, and selling candy out of my backpack and doing all these different odd jobs and connecting different communities when I was in high school to try to help bring together a collective impact action. Thinking about the experiences I had in volunteering with like the Junior League of Raleigh, for example, and looking at collective impact of how all of our different nonprofit stakeholders needed to come together so we can make a bigger difference. This is born out of my spirit. It's not just one experience that has prepared me for these stages. Thinking about leading global teams, I spent the last 15 years of my life on the clinical research side as a commercial executive in the last recent years. And most recently, I worked at 3 startups, and each of those gave me different insights as far as how to structure a startup, when to pivot, and really rooting into core things like being in integrity. This whole experience, so I'd say those who are considering going down the journey, I'd say first and foremost, take the time to listen to your spirit and your soul and take inventory of all those different experiences. For me, it's been motherhood, it's been career, it's been nonprofit work and volunteering in my community, and the things that really bring you joy. Secondly, write it down, make it really plain. It's really hard to even formulate what the next move might be if you haven't written it down. Then after you've written it down, you feel kind of secure in yourself, share it with some of your loving, trusted mirrors in your life who can amplify and like serve as that confidence booster when you're trying to get your feet and legs under you. And stay curious and humble. I am learning new things every day, but I am so grateful for technology. The advantages that we have now at this go round of using tools like ChatGPT and AI to really help refine like the things that I don't know, and like how to approach venture capital, how to have pitch competition, like how to prepare for a pitch, how to refine your investor deck. There are so many great coaches and authors and tools and books that are available now, and everyone's a wealth of information. So I would say after you've kind of grounded your idea, then look for communities that can help amplify and support you. In the regional area, I did a lot of research and found the Center for Entrepreneurial Development, CED. They're a fantastic nonprofit that surrounds small businesses. There is the Small Business Association of America, and there are so many great advisors and counselors. So I would say reach out to your local area resources, and don't be afraid to ask the goofy questions, because that's where the magic and nuggets are, and no one has it all figured out. So just, it takes courage and commitment and conviction, and really ground into your why, because it'll pull you forward through all the hurdles and all the not knowing.
You had so much wonderful information in that answer. It was just fantastic. And now I want to know Squadies. How did you come up with the name?
Absolutely. So our whole goal at Squadies is, one, to bring joy into tech. In my brain, I'm like, technology and toddlers can coexist along with spreadsheets and stickers. Like, there should be joy when we're talking about something that can be as uncomfortable and embarrassing as going to the potty. So bring a little element of humor, some joy. And we have a family group text. We've got family members across the country. I've got 2 sisters, my parents, in-laws. We're all in this group text. And so it's our squad. And that's where I go for resource information of like all the latest updates, what's happening in everyone's lives. I go to our squad group text. And then I started thinking about all the funny times when I would say I'd had to pop a squat to
yes, that's what I thought.
Right. And so the two together, it's like the resource, the go-to, they're my plug for anything I need to know. And then when you got to pop a squat, and then the two together, it's Squadies.
Perfect. Fantastic.
I love that. I actually am really glad you asked that question too, Cindy. I love hearing sort of the background of that. And also just shout out to Ryan, because every time I hear you speak, it's like so uplifting. There's just this energy that you bring, and I absolutely love that. I would love to ask you, I've been thinking about, for parents and individuals who might be listening who struggle with restroom concerns, what are some practical tips or strategies that they could use right now before Squadies is fully launched to make outings less stressful? Is there anything you've discovered in your research?
A huge shout out to our Patreon subscribers. Your support truly means the world to us. Thanks to you, we are able to continue the weekly production of Mama Needs a Moment and getting this valuable information from these incredible guests out to you, our listeners. This final question has been recorded as a bonus and is available for our Patreon subscribers to go listen to right now. Be sure to log into your Patreon account and have a listen. If you're not a subscriber, we'd love to have you. The link is in the show notes.
That's a wrap. You carved out a few moments just for yourself, and that's a big deal.
We understand that time is limited, but we've got your back, which is why we keep these episodes short, sweet, and packed with goodness.
Don't miss a thing. Hit the follow button so you're always the first to know when a new episode drops. If you had as much fun as we did, let us know by leaving a review.
And remember to let other moms know that we're here doing motherhood alongside you. Grateful to share a few moments taking care of you.